Now let's talk more about MLS. We've got Tom Bogert live in studio with us. That's right, not on the Zoom wall. He's here in studio to talk about his top five, starting off with number 5. It was a big day for MLS yesterday. 29 years ago to the day yesterday was their first ever MLS match. Now listen, 29 years ago, San Jose Earthquakes beat DC United. San Jose, not the Earthquakes at the time, but San Jose beat DC United 1-0. All right. Yesterday, they beat them 6-1. My heart, it hurt for DC, but it was a special day in MLS.
It was a very special day. And yeah, that was a bit of a different result for DC United. Shows how far they've fallen as the first true dynasty, the first true big team in MLS with all that early success. But 29 years later, 29 years ago, Bruce Arena was the head coach at DC United, and John Harkes led the midfield against San Jose. Well, yesterday, it was Bruce Arena as the manager of the San Jose Earthquakes, and John Harkes' son, Ian Harkes, was leading the midfield. I thought that was a beautiful little note, and what a result for the San Jose Earthquakes. We have Tony Meola in studio. Tony, you were at that first game, despite you weren't on the field. What were you doing there?
It was opening game, and it was opening day for the league, and they had a representative from every team. And Tom, it wasn't 30 years ago. It feels like yesterday, my friend. But yeah, what a historic day, and to think where this league is 30 years down the road is just, to me, it's mind-boggling.
What was the VIP treatment for you like back in the? Was it an economy middle seat on a red eye,
yeah,
and then a couple connecting
either
flights?
G, like a G in my seat somewhere in the 30s, but that's okay. We've come a long way, which is a good thing.
Yes, we have.
How old were you at the time, Tom?
One.
Me.
How old are you?
Me too. 1 year old.
You're both grounded.
Was that in the teleprompter, what you guys just said? Or
Don't
was that
worry about
impromptu?
it.
We're taking control over here. Relax.
All right, let's move on to number 4. Sporting Kansas City getting their first win after the Peter Vermes era moving forward.
So for the first time in more than 16 years, they had a match week in which Peter Vermes was not leading the charge. And they got their first win of the season, their first win of the post-Peter Vermes era. They beat rivals St. Louis City 2-0. This was a very important result. The performance was solid. St. Louis were a little bit wasteful. I don't really care. What was most important was the word that comes to me is resiliency. This was a resilient performance by Kansas City and a great start into a new era. I'm still worried. I still don't think this is a playoff team. Maybe I'm wrong, but I will say their first goal, a really nice pass from Manu Garcia and a very good finish from Dejan Joveljic. That's what modern money can buy in Major League Soccer. That was the second and third highest transfer fee paid by this club in their history, both this winter, and they combined for a goal. I still contend that sporting director Peter Vermes let down head coach Peter Vermes, and that's why he's no longer the manager. But it's not just that the head coach needed to change. They need to be more ambitious and spend more and spend it well. Those two players are a good start, but there's a lot of work to be done.
A good start for them. Things seem to maybe be turning around a little bit, but they didn't turn around for LA Galaxy over the weekend, who still haven't been able to get their first win. And they're the reigning MLS champs, Tom.
Oh, man. We knew that they were going to struggle to start the season. No Ricky Puig, and then Joseph Paintsville went down. There was a lot of changes in this team, but nobody saw this coming. Another loss for LA Galaxy, another uninspiring performance, another set of individual mistakes that don't really make any sense. This time it was Zonka who let a bad touch turn into a goal for Diego Luna. Just inexplicable stuff from a veteran. And this season, their box score numbers are among the worst in the league with just 2 points, 5 goals, 14 allowed. Their underlying numbers match that. The eye test matches that. This has been putrid for the LA Galaxy this season. And yes, they don't have Ricky Puig. And when you're built heliocentric, you're built around the sun, well, when the sun is out, there's going to be an issue. It should not be this bad. Gabriel Peck, he did not play this weekend, but I've been very disappointed by him to start the season. We were talking $20, $22 million type of potential transfer fee after his incredible debut season in MLS. He's been bad this year. He needs to be better if they want to climb the table.
You know who hasn't been bad, though? Lionel Messi, of course. Anytime he scores, we got to talk about him. He helped Inter Miami get the equalizer against Toronto.
Let me just push back on that. That was a wonderful video to start this segment. The headline was Messi rescues Miami. They're at home against Toronto. This is one of the easiest fixtures in the league. Again, I'm not worried at all about a 1-1 draw. You drop points. It's a 34-game regular season and all of the other things that they're in. I don't not worried whatsoever about this result. They played fine. Toronto played really, really well, I should say. But maybe let's relax on, he saved the day. What a heroic performance. Messi was very good, but they have one eye on the Champions League quarterfinal, leg 2 against LAFC this week. That is the big one, and they're going to be ready for that.
And then at number 1, we have San Diego. I was just telling Tom that ever since Charlie Davies said, San Diego, who's on this roster? I don't know about this. I haven't seen Charlie in studio yet. I think you're a bit scared, Charlie. Huh? What is the San Diego team?
Charlie's ducking. Claudia, look at that. San Diego, another win, another convincing performance. 3-0 over the Seattle Sounders. So far this season, they've beaten Seattle, LAFC, and the LA Galaxy en route to being top 3 in the Western Conference. Those are some heavy, heavy hitters in the Western Conference. The 3 teams that we expect to be there at the end of the season. San Diego have not just gotten points, they've performed really, really well. What happened this weekend that was a new for them? Chucky Lozano, because he's been injured most of the season, he had a goal and 2 assists. He was dominant. That is another way that this team can positively evolve. And that's another kind of lever that they haven't really had this season. And Chucky Lozano showed you, hey, there's going to be games where I take over and I'm going to win us points no matter what. The whole team was good, but he was special. And that's another way that they're going to get points. Really, really impressive start to the season for San Diego.
Now let's switch gears over to the MLS rumor mill and who we think we might see in Major League Soccer at some point soon. I'm going to get your vibe check, Tom. We're going to start off with Kevin De Bruyne, who announced last week that he is, in fact, leaving Manchester City at the end of this season after 10 long seasons with them.
So I'm going to go toasty warm on this one because there are real talks from sources that I've spoke with. What I know right now is that San Diego had been in preliminary talks with Kevin De Bruyne's camp for the better part of a year. De Bruyne's camp reached out and said, if we come to MLS, San Diego is a place that he would consider. And they said, well, you're Kevin De Bruyne. We would definitely want to talk. They've had conversations. The asking price for De Bruyne, from what I've been told across the league, is probably he would like around Lorenzo Insigne money, which is the second most in MLS. It's $15 million a year. I don't know if he's going to get that if and when he does come to MLS. I know that San Diego it didn't fit their philosophy. So San Diego are not going to be signing Kevin De Bruyne. He is not in the plans, at least. That is what sources told me this week. But sources believe that MLS is the preference over Saudi Arabia. Some other team in MLS has its discovery rights, and in MLS, discovery might essentially mean the right to negotiate.
Yep.
Don't quibble with the word discovery. Yes, it's outdated and all of that, but somebody in MLS has them. It's not San Diego. It's not Chicago per sources. It's not Charlotte per sources. Deductive reasoning, there's a decent chance that's NYCFC.
Yeah.
I would love that for City Football Group, for the team. For him, it'd be a great fit and a great move for that club. Again, I don't know if it's them, but that would be one that makes sense to me.
Discovery rights, that always throws me off. But let's switch gears. Let's talk about Thomas Müller, who also recently announced that after this season, he's leaving Bayern Munich because they didn't offer him a contract extension.
I'll say it's possible with the question mark at the end of that because all of the reporting linking him with Major League Soccer seems to be coming through Bayern to local reporters. And that all seems flimsy. And normally how it goes when a big name star is leaving Europe, I get inundated with there's rumors that he's linked with, and it's usually, Miami, LA, New York, whatever, right? So the one for Thomas Müller included San Diego. Yeah, don't see that happening unless that he's going to take a very small salary. LAFC have a partnership with Bayern Munich. The reporting keeps on being that they're talking about it, but there's nothing it's all really flimsy. It is way too soon for me to rule on anything here. Again, I've spoke to sources. Nobody's giving me a real good answer around the league. Everybody's kind of I don't know. I'm asking, what kind of money would he be on? If he wants a DP contract, that might be a little bit difficult. Yeah. You look at what Marco Reus, he's on max TAM, under that DP threshold in Los Angeles. That might make sense for Müller. But is he going to take that? He's such a legend. I wouldn't be upset if he said, no, I'm worth more than that. You look at Eric Maxim Choupo-Moting, he went to the Red Bulls on a DP contract. Thomas Müller, in his last 2 seasons at Bayern, has started more and has been more productive than Choupo-Moting was in his last 2 Bayern seasons before coming to MLS. And that player got a DP contract, so the money is going to be interesting to see. I can't wait to see how this develops over the next couple months. It is very, very early.
Chicago's not a stranger to Bayern, guys, so who knows? Let's shift to our last player, Antoine Griezmann, the Atletico Madrid player, who now it's a bit iffy. Could he stay there for 1 more year?
So I'm going to go toasty warm on this one, and if we did this segment a month ago, I would have said burning hot. So LAFC, longtime target, that is no secret. I've been reporting on this for a long time. But the new development is, what I've been told is Atletico Madrid, Diego Simeone asked Antoine Griezmann, can you stay until 2026? The planning had been for LAFC to push and get this done this summer. They even had like a pipe dream of last summer. Obviously, that didn't happen. And the view was 2025 summer. Well, he might have said, yeah, sure, I'll stay. What I've been told is LAFC have not been communicated any kind of decision. But it is an interesting spot because they have held open a designated player spot for Griezmann. They signed Cengiz Ünder on a short-term loan that expires this summer. He's not expected to be back. Maybe things change now if Griezmann isn't coming, but that was a short-term solution to hold the spot open for Griezmann. Griezmann next season will be his age 35 season. How much longer can they wait? It's a very interesting one to watch because I think he's bound for MLS. He loves the NBA. He loves America. He talks about it all the time. And he would be a great fit for this LAFC team, for the league maybe. But how long can you wait?